The notion of a satanic new world order using climate change propaganda to oppress us is a complex and multifaceted concept that has been circulating on the internet and in certain conspiracy circles. According to this idea, a group of powerful individuals and organizations are manipulating the narrative around climate change to further their own agenda of global control and domination. Proponents of this theory argue that the Satanic New World Order is using climate change as a tool to instill fear and panic in the population, thereby justifying the implementation of draconian policies and restrictions on individual freedoms. They claim that the climate change agenda is being driven by a desire to create a one-world government, where a small elite controls the resources and dictates the behavior of the masses. One of the key pieces of evidence cited by proponents of this theory is the supposed contradiction between the predicted catastrophic consequences of climate change and the actual data on temperature increases and extreme weather events. They argue that the scientific consensus on climate change is exaggerated or fabricated, and that the real agenda is to use the threat of climate change as a pretext for imposing authoritarian controls on the population. Another argument made by proponents of this theory is that the climate change agenda is being driven by a group of wealthy and powerful individuals, often referred to as the global elite. These individuals are said to be using their influence and resources to shape the narrative around climate change and promote policies that serve their own interests, rather than the interests of the general population. However, a closer examination of the evidence reveals that the notion of a satanic new world order using climate change propaganda to oppress us is largely based on misinformation, speculation, and unsubstantiated claims. The overwhelming scientific consensus is that human activities, particularly the emission of greenhouse gases, are causing the Earth's climate to change with potentially catastrophic consequences. Furthermore, the idea that a group of powerful individuals is manipulating the climate change narrative to further their own agenda is not supported by credible evidence. While it is true that some individuals and organizations have a vested interest in promoting certain policies or technologies related to climate change, this does not necessarily mean that they are part of a sinister plot to control the population. In fact, many of the policies and technologies being promoted as part of the climate change agenda, such as renewable energy and energy efficiency, have the potential to benefit the general population and promote sustainable development. Additionally, the idea that a one-world government is being created to control the population is not supported by credible evidence and is largely a product of speculation and paranoia. In conclusion, while the notion of a satanic new world order using climate change propaganda to oppress us may be a compelling narrative for some, it is largely based on misinformation and unsubstantiated claims. The scientific consensus on climate change is clear, and the evidence suggests that human activities are causing the Earth's climate to change, with potentially catastrophic consequences. Rather than promoting conspiracy theories and misinformation, we should be focusing on promoting credible information and supporting policies and technologies that can help to mitigate the impacts of climate change and promote sustainable development.